Hello everyone, my name is Lynette at Homesteading on the Homefront. Welcome to my grandmother's kitchen at Armstrong Acres. I am here filming my 2024 Whips and Plans video. I really want to call it a whip parade because that's what everyone else is doing this time of year. But if you've been around for a while, you know that I really don't like to carry over projects. And so this year I am carrying over 3 whips, and they're doozies. So I will show them to you because they factor into my 2024 plans. 2 out of the 3 should be done by the end of 2024. We're hoping. So with that being said, I'm going to be glancing down here because I originally laid out by month what I wanted to work on. Having learned this past summer that no stitching gets done during garden season, I kind of left June and July blank. I do have plans for Mania. Last year, not much got done on my Mania project, so we're just gonna see how it goes this year. So what I'm going to talk to you is month by month what I think I will be stitching on, what I hope to be stitching on, and hopefully you can get a good idea of what's in store and get some designs because enabling is what Flosstube is all about, right? All right, so January. I don't know what I'm doing in January. I had grand plans. In fact, where did it go? I just showed this, but I will show it again in case you didn't catch my last regular Flosstube of 2023. I am stitching on at home. This is what I will be stitching on for the entire last week until New Year's. My original plan was to just get as much done on her as I could in the month of January because to me, this is a perfect winter stitch. For those of you who have not read the sentiment, it says, "For genuine happiness we need not roam, 'tis doubtless found with little and at home." To me, this is the perfect winter hibernation stitch. I would have no qualms about stitching on this for the whole month of January. And I may. However, everyone started talking about, the January sampler and started on New Year's Day and finish it by the end of the month and bring good luck to the family, yada, yada, whatever. I don't believe in good luck. But anyway, when I was searching through my stitching stuff, pulling things together for this video, I came across Elizabeth Howell's. Now, to me, this was the only thing I pre-ordered at Market last year. It was the only thing that got me, and it got me good because, number one, it looks very much like a Scottish sampler. I don't know if it is or not, but it has the reds and the greens and a splash of blue. It's very Scottish colored. And I have started stitching some Scottish samplers, and so this would fit right in. The other reason it got me is because eyelet letters, and they are a pain in the neck, but I just love them. I love a sampler with eyelet lettering. And there's only one row. It only goes up to J. It's not like the whole alphabet. So I started looking at Elizabeth. I found fabric that would be perfect for Elizabeth. What is it? I have no idea. No idea what it is. And I already have like colors in my bag from the Scottish samplers that I have stitched in the past. So it's gonna depend on how I feel on January 1st, honestly. Do I start Elizabeth Howell's? I don't know. Or do I stitch on at home? stay tuned. You'll be as surprised as I will. All right, so that's one thing or two things. I may be stitching one up, or maybe I'll stitch both of them. I don't know. And then, so I do like to have a snow day project. The person, I don't know if it was her idea or not, but the person who got me going on having a snow day project was Julie of Kansas City Girl, in a Colorado World. She was the first person that I remember. Whether she was the one who came up with it, I don't know. But anyway, I do like to have a snow day project. And I had finished my snow day project last year, and so I needed a new one. And I knew which one I wanted to do. And then I couldn't find it. And then I thought, well, I'll do this other one, which is kind of a companion piece to last year's snow day project. And then my friend Amy at Gable Stitcher said, hey, I think I'm doing this project is my snow day stitch. And I had never heard of it, so I went looking for it. It's an Elsa Williams, which is not the designer. It's just, I don't know, a brand name, something. Turns out the company it's not, I don't think it's still going, but it was in Townsend, Massachusetts. Who knew? But anyway, let me take it out so there's no reflection. This is called Sunday Morning Memories. And isn't it beautiful? It is so classic New England, right? So I loved it and decided maybe that'll be my snow day stitch. But wait, there's more. It had a companion piece. And I said, Amy, do you know this has a companion piece? Still consummate New England, right? This one is called the General Store Bell Pull. And so I bought both. Now, it comes with 14 count Aida. I'm not stitching on 14 count Aida. If I stitch on 14 count Aida, I have to use 2 strands of floss, and you know how I feel about that. I am stitching on 20 count Aida. Now, not an issue with the General Store, because the General Store, bless its heart, has no blended threads. Not an issue. Sunday Morning Memories does have some blended threads. So what am I going to do about that if I'm only using 1 strand of floss on 20 count? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to find something in my stash, maybe a hand-dyed, maybe a DMC. Probably not a DMC, because if there was a DMC that was the color that they wanted in the blend, then they probably would have used that. But anyway, I'm going to find something that I can use 1 strand of in place of the blend. Will it look the same as the model? No. Will it look fine? Yes. So I'm not worried about that. The kit comes with the binding to make it into a bell pull. No, I'm going to get 2 matching frames, and I'm going to have 2 long skinny pieces hanging wherever I decide to hang them. And that's how I intend to do it. Now, if I wanted to be really wild and crazy, you could probably stitch 1 long piece. Put them all together. Am I that crazy? Actually, I would put this one on top because this is far away, and then it gets closer and closer, and then you're still pretty close, right? I don't know. I kind of doubt I will end up doing that. Now, which package goes with which picture? This is the General Store. Okay. Like I said, I think I'm going to end up doing just 2 matching long skinny frames. Obviously, they're not going to be up all year round. I will only hang them in winter. Who knows where they'll go. But my plan is to do the Sunday morning stitch first as my snow day stitch. Partly because that's what Amy's stitching on and we're going to sell it, and partly because I want to get it over with, because that's the one with the blended threads. I want to know that when that's done, I can just brainlessly move into the general store project and not have to worry about blended threads. So I already have the 20 count Ada that I'm going to be stitching them on. A lot of the stitches are just half stitches because it's background and trees and snow and stuff. So I really don't anticipate that that's going to take as long as it might seem it's going to take. All right, so that's January and probably February. When it snows, I'll be stitching that. February, I will probably most definitely be working on at home, because even if I did start the other sampler, that will hopefully be done by the end of January, and February is just going to be snow day stitching and at home. Easy peasy. If I need something else, as like a palette cleanser, I am going to be doing this chicken right here. Now, I have stitched most of the rest of these. To go along with this series, which I have changed. I didn't stitch very many of these because I found I was having to change them too much. And I was on automatic ship and we were moving from Guam and I just canceled it. And then, oh look, more quilts. So, I need to finish all of these. They all use the same colors. They are all matchy-matchy. And so the only thing left, because I have decided I'm done stitching quilts, the only thing I have left that I want to stitch for this series is this one down here. Now, I've already stitched it once, but that was before I got, and it wasn't even my idea. It was Vanna's idea to stitch them all as a series, I believe. So this is in the called for colors, not the colors that I used for the other animals. So you can see a little slightly different. So I just need to stitch this guy, and then I can start FFOing the whole thing and have a buttload of matching ornaments for a Christmas tree. Now, originally, the plan was to have a barnyard Christmas tree. We have a regular tree that's full of ornaments that we've collected all the years, and the kids have made. I have a cross-stitch Christmas tree, which is full, right? There's no more room for ornaments on it. So I don't know. May need another tree. I don't know. Don't tell my husband. He doesn't like that idea. But anyway, one more. And this project, I've been working on this since we lived in Guam. It's been a long time. So it's time to finish it and get it done with. So that one ornament is also in the plans. In addition, I've also been working on these. Now, I'm not stitching all of these because I don't grow all of these vegetables. I'm only stitching when I grow. However, with these, I just envision having like a holiday bowl. So I want to get more of these done. As you can see, I only have room for 4 more. So it's going to be a surprise what I do. The apples came from the holiday harvest. The pineapple came from the holiday harvest. I would really like to do the pine cones. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe everything else I do will be holiday harvest. I don't know. But these vegetables are vegetables that I grow in my garden. And so this is also a project that I've been stitching on for a while. I don't think I stitched any of these vegetables in 2023. So it's time to move along and get her done. Now, if I stitch on the pine cones, that's a good February stitch, maybe. But I won't stitch on the vegetables unless it's growing season. I'm one of those weird seasonal stitchers, and that's how I like to do things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there, but this is another series that I would like to be done with. Okay. So March. On the spring, is it the spring solstice? Is that's what it's called? First day of spring, I'm going to be starting Spring Moon with my friend Stacy and Beth. We were at the same table at Stitch New England, and Stacy and I had this, and Beth said, "Hey, I have it too." And so we were trying to think of a time to start it that would allow everyone to kit it up and, yada, yada. And I was like, well, what about the first day of spring for Spring Moon? That just seems logical. And so we decided that's how it was going to go. I am going to be changing things up in here. Not a fan of the rabbit, but I know what I'm going to do, and I think it's going to look good. So I do not have fabric for this yet. I mean, I have fabric. Santa pre-delivered a lot of fabric from Black Friday sales. So I know I have good fabric somewhere. I just haven't taken the time to match it up. I do have some of the threads. So whatever I don't have, we'll just make do. So that is going to be March. All right. Oh, this is the bag that I'm going to put the Sunday and the general store in. Isn't that like the perfect bag for that? I thought so. All right. At some point, I don't know when, I will be starting to stitch on the state of Virginia. Now, these are in no particular order. Are those all that I have, or do I have more? All right, this is the state of Maryland that's done. This is Illinois that's done. Somewhere I have also done Mississippi and Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And so the only two left to go of the states that we were stationed in, those of you who are new here, my husband was active duty for 21 years. So I'm stitching all of the states that we lived in. I have the state of Virginia and I have Guam. And those are the last two that I have to do for this series. I think this is going to be my 4th year. Did I start them in 2020? It's going to be my 3rd or 4th year. I do 1, 2, 3 states a year. Basically what I do, let me show you here. I outline in black, and then I stitch the flower. And then this is fantastic retreat stitching because I just take black thread and fill in. It's brainless. It's easy. It's one of those that I can hop from table to table if I'm in the mood to do that, because I don't have to take anything with me but this and black thread, and borrow somebody's scissors if I need them. But again, this is a series that I would really like to finish up. So at the very least, I will be stitching Virginia this year. If all goes well, I will be stitching Virginia and Guam and being done with the series. I think it's probably only going to be Virginia. This is also a good project for me to take when I'm substitute teaching. Um, but now that the throes of COVID are over, and we have a wonderful new principal at the high school who is really encouraging teachers to not call out for whatever reason. I'm seeing fewer subbing days, and it's fine by me. I'm not mad about that. But it also means I get less stitching time. So Virginia is the goal this year. All right. So that brings us to April, because if Virginia is not started by April, it will be. My first retreat is going to be in April. And so I want to fill in at home. I want to be able to fill in Virginia. And then I want to resume working on this one. Live on little. It is not little at all. At all. And I really, so when did we start this one? We started this one in November of 2022 at Stitchin' at the Farm. And at that point, I did the roof. It seems like I'm always stitching a roof at the farm. So I did the roof in November. And then I didn't pick it up again because, like I said, I'm a seasonal stitcher and this is not a winter stitch. So when did I pick it up again? Maybe last April. I know I stitched on it a lot at the April retreat. I stitched on it a lot at the July retreat. So basically, all of this has been done in a year and a month. Or maybe 2 months, because the farm was the beginning of November and now we're at the end of December. So whatever. But all down here just needs to be filled in with the blue. So that's easy. This is fill in grass. Easy. I need to fill in, you can't tell, but one side of the sailboat is not filled in. Easy retreat stitching, right? So what I want to do is get a lot of this done, but I also want to get going. There's the border and there's trees and there's a lot of stuff that isn't great retreat stitching. And so I want to be working on that in April. This is also going to be my Stitch Mania project. And the reason is there was supposed to be a fish. Didn't love it. So these up here are nautical letters. These are my initials. So I said, well, why not carry the theme? And I changed the fish to the nautical numbers 2024. So this one needs to be done. This one needs to be done in 2024. So I'm hoping in May I can do the border. I'm changing the wording. And I did, thank you, Past Lynette. I did work it out. So my charting is done for that. It says, evermore shall rise to thee glad hymns of praise from land and sea, which is the last verse of the Navy hymn, Eternal Father. And I thought that was, it's land and sea. I love this verse. This is me in a nutshell, right? Like, we live, like, yes, frugal Yankee, cheap, yes. However, it was very hard for me to reconcile this verse with this house. So don't be surprised if in the future you find me putting this verse on something else. But anyway, one last time, let's look at it. It is beautiful. I can't wait to have it done and hanging. It is not small. And because it's so large, I am stitching this one in hand. If I have Q snaps available when I want to stitch on it, then I might throw it in the Q snaps, but it is what it is. This is in a navy bag that I got from somebody on Etsy. Amy said, "Hey, it's on clearance. Go get it." And it's like it's larger than most bags, so it was the perfect size to hold this large project. Live on Little. So Live on Little mania. June and July, like I said, I tend to get no stitching done. There will be one retreat in that time. So I will get some fill in done, but I purposely did not write anything in June and July because if I get nothing done, I get nothing done. Ideally, in a dream world, Live on Little would be done in August so that I could enter it into the fair. That could be a pipe dream. Like I said, I'm giving myself until December. It's got to be done in 2024. I am not carrying it over. The same thing with At Home. I am not carrying that one over. I hate carrying stuff over that can be done. So, Live on Little and At Home are going to be my focus pieces. At Home during the winter months, Live on Little during the nicer months. With that being said, I have a long, I might have shown it in a past video. It says home on it, and I hang it on our front door. And where the O is, I try to put stitching. And so this is a perfect spring, I think. And so I would like to get this done and FFO'd so that I can hang it on the home sign for spring. And I couldn't resist. I got this bag at Stitch New England. I'm a jam maker. I grow strawberries. And so I have several other strawberry projects in this bag. Is that it? That might be it. I had more in there, but I decided I was never going to stitch them, so they're going to find new homes at the next freebie table. And it even came with cute little needle book or, fabric thing. Okay, so that might be thrown in April too, maybe June. Maybe June. June is strawberry season. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever the spirit moves. All right, so June, July, I have not really put anything in there, which brings us to August. Now, August for me is scramble to finish anything that can be possibly finished to be entered into the fair. I've got a lot of bigger projects going on this year, so I'm not sure how many projects I'm actually going to be able to enter. What did I write here? Oh, August is also the month that we officially become empty nesters because little one will be going off. She got official notification on December 22nd that she was accepted to Syracuse, and so Syracuse it is going to be, which means the month of August, and I didn't bring them apparently. The month of August, I will be working on their Christmas ornaments because I will be missing them tremendously. So that will be that. If Live on Little isn't done, I will be working on that in August as well. Now, September is Sampler September. And last year, I really enjoyed working on one single solitary sampler for the whole month of September. And so this year, I want to do the same thing. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, let me introduce you to Dutch Beauty, which if you want her on 123, Dutch Beauty is not how she's listed. It might be this. I don't know. It's a permanent Copenhagen, so you can find it that way. But anyway, she's a monster. And several of us started her in July at the Stitch New Jersey retreat. I did the border at the retreat and put her down. And then at some point I picked her up again. This is a miserable start and I need to get back to her. And there's so much fabric. Like there's so much fabric. And this is 20 count. So anyway, it's ridiculously wrinkled. No, I'm not ironing her because she's gonna be wrinkled forever. What am I stitching her on? I think it's just sand, or I think it's a straight Zweigart because I needed so much of it and I'm cheap. So I definitely didn't do hand dyed. And this is it. There's like 13 colors of Ada, and so cost per stitch of this sampler, you are not going to get a better buy anywhere in the cross stitch world than Dutch Beauty. I bought this bag for all of my Dutch stitching because many of my ancestors are Dutch, and I tried to incorporate names of ancestors on samplers that I stitch. So I saw this and I was like, perfect, I'm using that for all of my Dutch stitching. Problem is, when you have so much fabric, it doesn't fit well in the little bag. So I might have to find a larger bag for Dutch Beauty. I don't know. She's getting love in September. Okay, so then comes October fall stitching. I don't know if this one's going to happen. However, because I wanted it to happen this year and it didn't. I love this one from Winds of Autumn, Blackbird. I probably won't make it a strawberry. I will probably just finagle it so that it's rectangular and I can frame it. But I love it. So that one's on the radar. However, also on the radar is this one. Now, I had never even seen this one until the farm. Deb was working on this. Deb stitched it on blue, which was, first of all, genius because this is all full stitching, which she didn't have to do because she stitched it on blue. Second of all, I cannot tell you how breathtaking it is. With all of these oranges, it just popped. So, I think I just got this. This is a Bestitch Me. It is Frost. It's kind of like a bluey gray. I haven't even measured yet. This is not as big as you think it is. I will tell you that. Not as big as you think it is. It's 169 by 185, so it's not bad. So I may stitch it on this. I'm also making some significant changes because I am stitching it on 20 count Ada, which means all of this over one isn't happening. So that's going to be changed. Also, I have this thing where in 90% of the cases, I do not like people on samplers. And these people, They just look, I don't know, straight out of The Simpsons or something. I don't, no offense to Paulette, because obviously this is an amazing, amazing sampler. It's just me. So I already have a plan for what to do up here. And then this is going away. So the 1620, which is not over 1, thank goodness. 1620 is getting moved up here. And then I will find something to do there. So this may end up being my fall stitch, September, October stitch. I don't know. It's going to be what the spirit moves. All right. So then November, obviously still fall stitching. So I can finish stitching. Maybe I'll stitch both fall pieces this year. I don't know. November is when the farm happens. So if Live on Little is not done, it will be worked on at the farm. If Virginia is not done, it will be worked on at the farm. Whatever fill-ins I can do will be worked on at the farm. And then kind of that last week in November and into December, I am all about Christmas stitching. So I have some possibilities. I have this one, Joy and Good Cheer. Also not as big as you think it is. Now, in this bag, right, because was it last year? It must have been last year. I stitched on this guy. I just made him a regular snowman, not a stocking. But he's tiny. Like, he's, palm-sized. He looks like he could be bigger. And I just saved all of the colors that I used for him in the project bag. So the same colors will be used on this one. And this one. And this one. You can see I already have his shirt color though. And maybe even this one. Now, this one, I may not do until next January, like January of 2025, because it's a good wintry picture. It's not so much Christmassy as it is winter. So I might wait and save him. This might even be my snow day stitch for 2025. Who knows? This one is also a snowman, but it reads more Christmassy to me. I may not stitch the candy cane, and I won't use this, and maybe I'll add in some blue somewhere. That's what I'm going to do. I'm a genius. I am going to make his scarf and his gloves this color, and that way he will read more winter. Same thing with this guy. He is very wintry. Again, maybe not the candy cane, maybe something else so that I can leave him up all winter and not so much Christmassy. And last but not least, 40 minutes in, I think this is the longest video I've ever done. So I have the whole set of Brooks books. They're the German ornaments with bride's tree. I think they're called the bride's tree. In the German tradition, a bride should have all of these things hanging on her tree because they symbolize different things. Well, I have a couple people in my life who are not getting married. One might be in the far future, who would appreciate this ornament. I don't know if I'll use these colors, but I'm going to stitch a fish because it is a symbol of blessings. It's also a symbol of fertility, but we're not going to tell them that. It is a symbol of blessings, as in like the fishes and the loaves. And so I've been shoving scraps in this bag. So whatever ornament I might want to make, I've already done this one. I can just shove it on a piece of scrap and go from there. So at least one, maybe two of these if I don't get sick of it. And that's my Christmas plans. Now, we all know, with this being said, plans are subject to change. So this is just a general outline of what I intend to do. Looking at the book that I had written down, I did kind of put an arrow from the Blackbird Designs berry and also Kringle and Woolard. I wanted to stitch, but they got sent to next year. Two samplers that I may want to stitch, probably not going to happen this year, are Harriet Elizabeth Coe and Marianne Rayner Above the Sky. I've been wanting to stitch those for years, and they haven't made the cut yet, but maybe 2025. So that's it. 3 whips I have right now. And hopefully 2 of them will be done. And so the only thing right now that I intend to carry over into 2025 is obviously Dutch Beauty. Dutch Beauty, I would like to put her on a 5-year plan, but 1 year has already gone. And you saw the miserable progress that I've made on her. We'll see. Maybe at the end of this year, I can assess whether 5 years is reasonable. Maybe she'll be on the 10-year plan. I don't know. The problem is that the longer I carry her over, the fewer other projects that I can carry over. Because like I said, 3 is okay. I'm comfortable with 3. 1 year I had 5 that I carried over. I didn't like that at all. So we'll see. I think everything I'm starting in 2024 can be finished in 2024. I think. There's nothing huge. Most of the projects are medium sized, and some of them, I mean, there's a lot of stitching in Spring Moon, but if I start it in March, that gives me 9 months to finish it. So we'll just see. With that being said, I'm going to sign off. Wish you all a very, very happy, healthy, blessed 2024. I can't wait to see what you're stitching on. I can't wait to see what retreats. I'm just so thankful to have this community and the friends that have been made through Flosstube. It's amazing what Flosstube has done for our community, and I am so very grateful for each and every one of you. So happy New Year, everyone. Bye-bye.